Charles and Jennifer Chia were two siblings who lived in Reno, Nevada. They were 2 years apart, but were described as being incredibly close. Charles was into sports such as Taekwondo, and Jennifer played the violin. The family had recently moved to Nevada with their mother, Ann Chang, after the parents had divorced. Ann Chang ran a restaurant in downtown Reno. At 3:30 p.m., the two children rode the school bus home to their apartment complex just as they did every day. They got off at the bus stop and walked toward the apartment, which was about 100 meters away. But they never made it home. The Chia's grandmother, who was staying at the apartment, called police, and a search around the complex and businesses nearby was conducted. The children couldn't be found. On October 22nd, a couple of days later, their mother, Ann Chang, received a disturbing phone call. A man called, claiming that he had Charles and Jennifer and wouldn't bring them back unless she gave him $100,000. Police immediately tracked the caller down. His name was James Grooms, a 24-year-old man. But James didn't have the children, and there was no evidence linking him to the Chia's disappearances, although he didn't have an alibi for the day the children went missing. According to Grooms, he had heard about the missing children on TV and believed he could extort Ann Chang for money. In return, he was charged for extortion and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But if James wasn't responsible for the children's disappearance, then who was? Some witnesses came forward saying that on the day the Chias disappeared, they had seen an unfamiliar middle-aged Asian man outside of the apartment complex. Police set out to find this mysterious man, but were unsuccessful. 6 months would go by without any news of the children. That is, until a man walking on Highway 70, 60 miles north of Reno, saw what appeared to be a skull on the side of the road. When police searched the area, they discovered that it was the bodies of Charles and Jennifer Chia. The community mourned the loss of the two innocent children and wondered who could commit such a heinous crime. At one point, police were interested in a man who was reportedly seen crying hysterically at a local bank. He was there to donate money to the Chia's memorial service. This man was unknown to the family, and the police hoped that he may have had some information useful to the case. But they were never able to locate him. Over the years, police continued to receive dozens of leads, and there were many people of interest, including a chiropractor from California and even John Garrido. But none of these leads ever led to an arrest. Police finally received a tip from someone claiming to have the VIN number for a white Volkswagen car that had been seen around the area that Charles and Jennifer's bodies were found. And with this information, they were able to determine the car's owner. The car belonged to James Grooms, the man who had tried to extort Ann Chang, the man who was almost finished serving his 10-year prison sentence. And this wasn't the only new information they had received about Grooms. The theory is that Grooms had an acquaintance that worked at Ann's restaurant. They may have worked together in the abduction of Charles and Jennifer. Could this accomplice have been the unknown Asian man that had been seen at the apartment building? Investigators believed that the car was the missing piece to the puzzle and would have valuable forensic evidence. But the car could not be located. When questioned, James claimed that he no longer had it. He had taken it to a body shop and never went to pick it back up. The whereabouts of the Volkswagen still remain a mystery. It's been 30 years since Charles and Jennifer Chia were murdered. Ann Chang has since closed her restaurant, remarried, and had another daughter. But she's still seeking justice and closure for her two children who were taken too soon. If you have any information about the Charles and Jennifer Chia case, please contact Reno Police at 775-321-8372.